Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I would have loved to have seen you in the classroom, but obviously that's not possible. So I'm so happy we can do this different way of getting together. And nothing like this could be done without our great sponsors. We're so thankful for Assurance as our diamond level sponsor. And I just feel for them because they have, gotten so many opportunities ahead of time to speak, which did not come to fruition. So I'm so happy that they can still visit with you guys this way. And Kent, this is recorded, so it will also be stored. So whatever you say will be seen by agents as they access this class in the future, which I anticipate will be quite a resource because Deb's got some great tips. So Kent, take it away, and then it's all you, Deb.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak a little bit today. We're happy to sponsor this event and just glad everybody can be here. Just a quick note for those of you who don't know, Assurance we're a 20-year-old company. When Assurance came to Virginia, they decided to open the first office in Fredericksburg, which is very cool to me. Speaks well of our area. So we've also been sponsors of FAR since opening the office in 17. So to us, our job is really to help individuals and families to make their dreams come true. People who are looking to buy a home or who are looking to lower their monthly house payment, already own a home. We prioritize the purchase business in everything we do, but right now, as you probably know, there's a lot of refinances going on. We're actually a small office. All of us, I always like to say, all of us in the office, we all have some gray hair. And we do what we do because we really enjoy seeing people get into the homes of their dreams. And if we can save someone a few $100 a month on a refinance, everybody wins. And that's, to me, not a bad job to have. It's fun. We came to Assurance, all of us together, in the office in 17 because we'd heard so many good things about Assurance's operations, and we have not been disappointed at all. To us, an application is not a matter of yes or no. It's a matter of, are they ready now or are they ready later? So if someone's not ready now, then what we try to do is help them develop a plan so that they can be ready at the earliest possible time to buy a home. You've no doubt heard a lot about the craziness in the market that's come out of the coronavirus activity. And of course, the way we're all meeting right now is consistent with that. The market's first reaction to COVID, as you might have seen, was a flight to safety, and that caused the government loans to fall out of favor. They're considered a little bit higher risk by investors. Investors drive the mortgage market. So they fell out of favor and the pricing got extremely volatile. I think one day we had a VA loan priced in the low to mid threes, and the day later it was 5%, and then it went back in the threes. It was crazy. So now things seem to have settled down quite a bit. And we're back to more normal times when it comes to pricing. Actually, rates are super good right now. We know there's still some lending restrictions out there with some lenders, but the pendulum seems to be swinging back in a good direction, which is nice to see. I know we're still offering the vast majority of the programs that we had pre-COVID. And last night I actually tallied it up. We've got 6 different programs to help first-time buyers. And that even kind of, when I kind of put my mind to it, surprised me. We still do have a bit of a bifurcated market right now. And so if someone's got good credit or excellent credit, it's easy to get a loan. And the rates are, I've quoted rates that I just couldn't believe I was quoting. It's great. If someone is still working on their credit or needs to work on their credit, it's a bit harder to get a loan now than it would have been a couple of months ago. But the pendulum does seem to be swinging back a little bit. So that's a positive. If we can get someone in our office that needs to work on their credit, then we know a couple of really good sources we can refer people to, and basically get their credit score improved to the point where they come back to us as buyers. And we have seen that happen many times. What's really kind of surprised me about the current market is the number of transactions that I hear about where there's multiple contracts. I won't bore you with the stories, but not just the lower price ranges, multiple contracts, lots of competition, very short time on the market. So there's a lot of underlying strength in this market, which is very cool. About a year ago at our office, we put our heads together and we took the passions that we have as individuals for helping other people. And we decided that instead of just going out looking for loans for ourselves, that our energy would be better spent helping agents to increase their business. So from all that, we put together a system where we work with agents to help them promote their listings, mainly online through social media, but there are some other things that we can do as well. And with some special tweaks to generate leads, which we are really enjoying that. And that same process also helps us to help agents, in many cases, win more listings. So that's especially helpful now because so many of us are working from home or otherwise limited, restricted from getting out, harder to show homes these days and so forth. Well, I don't want this to be too much of an infomercial, so I'll just say if you're interested in learning more about anything I mentioned, feel free to reach out to me. I'd welcome a call. And thanks for letting me be here and speak.
Oh, thank you, Kent. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming on and giving us the latest and greatest info.
All right.
All right, so welcome everyone. I'm going to start sharing my screen with you and hopefully you all can see that. If you cannot see that, let us know before we go too far. Speak now? No? All right, well, let's get started. So I love how Barbara said that she would love to have us all in the classroom. However, today's topic is prospecting in a pandemic. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, we would be in a classroom, but you wouldn't have me teaching this class. So I guess I'm pretty grateful to be able to do this from afar. So if you've ever sat through my A to Z class, I have pretty much just kind of taken the prospecting portion of that and kind of made it into how can we make that successful in the times we are in now. So give you a little bit about me for those of you who do not know me or have not been in any of my classes. My name is Deb Ellis. I am the Vice President over at Coldwell Banker Elite, but most importantly, I am your treasurer at FAR as well as an instructor at FAR, and that is definitely my passion. I'm a wife, a mother. You probably hear noise in the background going on. That is my family. Welcome to the virtual world. All of us have it going on in the background all the time. I am a huge Disney fanatic, for those of you that know me, and I am definitely an adventurer. Some of you might seem to think I get lost a lot. I like to think I like to take adventures. So there's just a little bit of tidbits about me, a couple new ones if you've sat in my classes before. But let's get started. What is prospecting? Well, prospecting is looking for new business. It's looking for new prospects, which are the people that we can put into our database. Prospecting is so very much important to our business, and it creates the success that we will have in the future. The goal here for prospecting is to find new people who are not in our database and add them to our database. Anybody and everybody we should know should be in whatever database we use. So how do our top agents gain their success? It's by consistency. It's by having the tools and the resources, having the databases, doing the same thing day in and day out. When you take a poll of top producers, what they are doing is consistently, they are prospecting at least 30% of their time, Monday through Friday. 5 days a week, 30% of their time is prospecting for that new business. It is calling past clients. It's calling whoever the referrals are. It's calling family. It's calling friends. It is reaching out in so many different formats that we are going to discuss here today. part of that prospecting is building that relationship. And in building the relationship, it gains the trust. You have to have the trust. You're not going to just trust somebody with your largest asset if you don't have some sort of a relationship. You can't just expect someone to jump to you without any kind of relationship there with you. So sometimes it takes a long time. It could take anywhere from, a couple of months to several years before the person's even ready, but it's forming that relationship with that trust that is so important. And the things that you do in your prospecting needs to be genuine and sincere to form those relationships. So one of the biggest tools that the successful agents are using is a CRM. If you do not have a CRM, you need to get a CRM. There are several out there ranging from relatively inexpensive to big bucks. Do the research. I'm not here to recommend one over another for you. I'm just basically telling you, you have to have one. Some of your companies and firms probably offer them for you also. If they do, take advantage of it if you don't have your own. Your CRM will work for you and help you keep everything organized. That is the place where you're going to put everybody you know, no matter if it's like a longtime friend or family member or a past client or a friend of a client that you met at a housewarming party. Anybody and everybody you know needs to go into your CRM. You will be able to categorize them, and your CRM can work for you in doing drip campaigns as well. And drip campaigns, especially right now in a pandemic, are huge because that is the email system out there. We can't necessarily get face-to-face as much as we would like to. So we need our CRM to be working for us. A good CRM will also have places for you to put notes, like the anniversary of the house, or maybe their wedding anniversary, or their birthdays, or maybe the dog's birthday, or the cat's birthday. Those are all really life event important things to put in there because it gives you a reason to reach back out to that client. Anniversaries, they get lots of cards. Birthdays, they get lots of cards. How about remembering the day they got Brownie the dog? How about remembering the day that Johnny rode his bike for the first time? Lost the first tooth. These are all like great reasons and great little notes you can add that will help you to be able to market back to your clients that you put into your database. Having a really good website is really crucial. So the website is kind of like your hub for all of your marketing. You need to have all your info on that website. You need to have things on there like, a current photo. Let's start there. A current photo. I've seen some of y'all's photos out there. It's not necessarily current. Current is, I like to say, in the last 3 years. Some other people will say 5. I would not go any longer than 5. So if you're using that high school photo that was like 50 years ago, it's time to update it. Let's update that current photo. You are who you are. Let's just be proud of it. That's what you are. That's what people see. It's the way it is. I know we're all a little camera shy. I know I am, but it's what the clients see. And so when the consumer's on the website researching you, because let's face it, statistically, they've researched you before they ever called you. Even if it was a friend of a friend who referred you, they've already gone on to find out who are you, what do you look like, what are you into, what are your hobbies. Those are all the things they're looking to bond with you for. So make sure that photo is current. So when they see you for the first time, they're not going, yeah, that's not you. You want them to be able to recognize you. Your logo needs to be very pronounced. It is your logo. It is your brand. Put it out there. Have it up there. It's going to be what recognizes people back to you. So that sign in the yard, whether it's a firm logo or your independent one, you need to have the firm one, don't forget, but be proud of that firm one. But also if you've created an independent one, have that independent one on there as well. That way when they're out and about in the community and they see the logo and they see it on the website, it becomes more brand recognition. Those logos and those signs are going to help drive people back to your website, which will help initially drive more business to you. Your website should also have videos. Videos are it right now. Videos are the way to go. So put a bunch of videos out there. How about a video of just introducing you, your hobbies, the things you like, who you are, why you're in real estate, and how you are different from every other realtor in our community, why they should pick you. Your bio should be the same way, and it's in written format. So remember, in written format, It needs to have keywords in it, not just Fredericksburg or realtor. It needs to be keywords for your area, but keywords that will also set you above the rest. The typical, I'm married, I'm a military wife. Well, there's quite a few of us out here that are married and military spouses. And so using that same terminology, how about just setting it up a little bit different? There's a whole bio class that we recently did that is in the library. I encourage all of you to go back and read that. It was a great class about how to write an effective bio. You should also have things on there like neighborhood links. Give us some info about your community, whether it's Colonial Beach. What is there to do in Colonial Beach? Hook up with your local photographer and let's do a community video or a neighborhood video. Give us the links to those neighborhoods. You want to draw all kinds of people. Everybody should be coming back to your hub, which is your website. And so if they're coming back to say, I want to move out to Colonial Beach, and you're saying, I'm the expert of Colonial Beach, you should have all kinds of neighborhood links out there. Westmoreland County Schools, here's the link. So if maybe you service a whole bunch of different counties, put all the links up there. Do as many neighborhood links as you possibly can with as many videos as you can. All of those searches will become fruitful for when you're directing everybody back to your hub. And vendor links. Do not forget your vendor links, because when you're going through and you're doing a lot of your marketing, you're going to say, if you go to my website under vendor links, my favorite lender's there. He can help you with this. Go to under vendor links. There's a list of contractors that have done great jobs for my clients. So again, we're going to redirect everybody back to the hub of the website with all of the different categories that you have. Another one that I didn't put on here that's good is purchasing a home, selling a home, rentals, you know, everything you can think of on your tabs on your websites. So you need to have a really good website to be the hub for where you're going to redirect all of your people. And I just lost ability to move. There we go. So obviously you want to call people, but in this day and age, just picking up the phone and talking this way or sending a text message is really not the best way. How about FaceTiming? We are in a virtual world right now. And in this little virtual world that we have, we need to be reacting virtually. People will react better if they can see the empathy on your face. They want to see when you're calling them and making those phone calls that you're sincere. So instead of talking through it and slide dialing everybody to say, hey, how's it going? Just checking in. Why don't you FaceTime them? That's a little different, right? So set up a Zoom call or a virtual conference on whatever platform you like and have a face-to-face with them and really show the empathy of, hey, how are you doing right now with everything? Do you need anything? Do you need groceries? What can I help you with? That is going to be key to be able to have these conversations. And when you're having these conversations, make sure that you do show a lot of empathy and remind them of what's going on in the market, because they could bring up something like, we can't pay our mortgage right now. Oh my gosh, really? Well, there's a forbearance program out there. Let me connect you back with one of my lenders who is very knowledgeable that might be able to help you and give you all the information you need. So we want to connect them back to the sources and the experts in those platforms and have the conversations with them to ease their mind. Or maybe they're saying, I thought in a pandemic I shouldn't sell. Oh my gosh, this is a great time to sell. Let me tell you what I'm doing in my virtual marketing. And then you can go through all the virtual marketing that you are doing and that you're able to do to sell the homes and to list homes and to function. Make sure you ask for help. People like to help. They like to feel like they have helped in some way. It's our nature. The majority of people, there's some crazies out there that probably don't like to help, but the majority of people, they like to be helpful. Ask them for help. Ask them. Say, you know, I've got buyers that are looking to buy a home. Any chance you know anybody that's going to be selling soon? You know, we've got all these buyers. If you yourself don't have the buyer, I've got agents in my office that have all these buyers. That's all you have to say. It's an easy workaround. Ask for the help. Just calling and not asking isn't going to get you any new business. You need to be asking for help. How can I help you? And can you please help me? Those are all ways that will help you to increase that database. And remember, when they say, you know, I'm having a drainage issue in my front yard, you can say, oh, great. On my website, under the vendor link, I've got a couple of vendor recommendations that can help you with that. Look up XYZ and XYZ, they'll be able to help you. So you're redirecting them back to that hub. Help solve problems. That's a big one, because right now I think everybody's got problems going on. You know, there's a shortage of toilet paper. There's a shortage of everything. You know, maybe you have a couple extra rolls and you're talking to the person that needs toilet paper, you know. Trying to make a little light of that because the toilet paper shortage, but there's some sort of problem that people have that you can probably help solve. Whether it's a house problem or it's some other problem related to the pandemic. Maybe it's why I heard you guys talking about transportation. Maybe it's a transportation issue and you know somebody that can help with the transportation. So there's all kinds of different areas where we as a realtor can help solve problems. And sometimes it just takes us a minute to say, you know what, let me get back to you and let me pull some of my resources and see if I can help you with that. And go to your brokers, go to your fellow agents and say, I have, you know, somebody in my SOI that has XYZ problem. Do you know of a solution that we might be able to offer them? There's a lot of realtors that are really creative and they know so many different people and they might have come across that problem as well to be able to help you solve it. So solving problems and helping them solve problems is another big way. Again, we're setting up showing our value, and that is where you're building that relationship, which will then build that SOI for you in that sphere. Another thing that we should be doing in this pandemic is, you know, I've been referring to this as, you know, BC, before the COVID, DC, during, which is what we're at now, and then AC, after, what's it going to look like? So I've been having conversations with agents of, you know, how was your business before? Oh, it was booming. It was great. It was awesome. And then COVID hit and now it's nothing. So then my next conversation moves into, okay, so what did you do before COVID? Oh, I was emailing, I was calling, you know, I was doing open houses, I was doing all this stuff. Great. What are you doing now during COVID? I'm sitting on the couch, catching up on Tiger King. Ooh, okay, well, Tiger King's not going to get you your business. Sorry. So one of the things that I tell them is, you know, what you were doing before can still be done now. It just is done differently. So maybe before you were dropping things off to them face to face. Okay, let's send them an email. You should be emailing right now during a pandemic your SOI probably once, maybe once a week to once every 2 weeks. And the reason you want to do that is you want to give them information. You want to assure them that we are not in the same housing crisis that we were in several years ago when the housing market really kind of went bust on us, right? We are not there by any means. We might be a little bit low on inventory, but this is a great way to assure them, here's my market stats. Here's what happened this week. Here's what happened last week. FAR does a great job of sending out market stats. You should utilize those. It will give a clear picture of what's going on in our communities when you're sending out these emails. And personalize the emails. Don't have them just be the generic email that goes to everyone, especially because if you have a big list, chances are some of those people are friends with each other. And if they start talking about the email, which you want them to talk about, you don't want it to be the exact same email. So create new ones for different clients. Emails, that's a big one right now. We need to be doing emails. Networking. So y'all probably heard me say networking is really huge. Gather a group of different people and network like once a quarter. So maybe you get a vet, and maybe it's you as the realtor. And so maybe a photographer, and maybe a caterer, and maybe, I don't know, a florist, we'll say. So you have these 5 people that you get together with on a quarterly basis, and they're all in different professions, and they're the only ones from their professions, and you've been getting together and coffees, sharing, talking business, but it all stopped because of COVID. Well, it shouldn't have stopped. We can use Zoom, right? So why not use Zoom? No, it's not the same as being in person, but it definitely can be just as much fun. I know I've been on a lot of Zoom meetings that have been a whole lot of fun. And so you can utilize that time to still find out, how are you doing with your business? How are things going? And you can still be the expert in your area to talk about what is going on in real estate. They're still working their business as well. So now that we're networking instead of in person, we're just moving it to Zoom. That works just as well too. Handwritten notes. Handwritten notes are fantastic. I love getting handwritten notes in the mail. I don't know of anybody that doesn't. My first thing is, don't do it in black ink. You should do it probably in blue, red, pink, purple, some other color other than black, because black looks printed on. There are some companies out there that you can say, this is the message I want, and it will print it onto the card as if it was handwritten. Don't do those either. Do true handwritten notes. Personalize a note that goes out to somebody on your SOI, or maybe it's somebody you met in the grocery store. Maybe it's, you know, a neighbor. Personalized notes go really far. Things like, hey, just checking in on you. That's a fantastic one. Hey, I saw the new flowers that you put in your yard. It looks gorgeous. Love the flower bed. Another good one. I'm just thinking of you. I can't believe it's been, 10 years since Bobby got married. All kinds of different reasons you can come up with. But a handwritten note is much more personal, and it goes much further, and it's part of that building that relationship. It's establishing and strengthening those relationships. It's also the reminder to the person receiving it, oh, yeah, you're in real estate. Oh, yeah, you can probably help me. Okay. Postcards are another good one. Now, I'm not talking just the just listed postcards, the just sold postcards. We all know how those go. I'm talking about postcards that are going to have a call to action. So something along the lines like my example here, spring cleaning checklist. This is a great time to send that out. And maybe your call to action goes back to your website. You want every call to action to go back to your website, where maybe you have a blog or a video or some sort of article that references the card. Preparing for the winter. That's a great one in the winter time. Bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling. Thinking of doing any remodeling, go to the NAR website, and you can get a breakdown of, if you remodel your kitchen, the cost can be this, your percentage of return will be that. So they have all of that broken down for you, and you can now talk about that. You can have those talking points of, what does somebody look for in a house? Is it a bedroom? Is it a kitchen? Is it a bathroom? Statistically, it's the kitchen and the master, right? So the master bath. So those are the things that are important. So if somebody's going to look to upgrade their house somehow, maybe that's what it is, with the call to action going back to the website. That website is very crucial in all of your marketing. With everything that you do, you always want to send back to the website. Another thing that I'm seeing a lot of, and this is just so awesome, I love this, is community outreach. And so, community outreach has always been a big one for me. It's always been, get out in the community, get your feet in the street, get out there and help your fellow neighbor. It's kind of hard to do right now, though, because we're in this pandemic where it's, no, you need to stay home. So here's a couple of examples of some things that have gone on in our community. We have One More Taco that has been having local businesses help them support all of our first responders and our elderly and taking meals. What a great thing. Maybe you can go to call up One More Taco, reach out to them and say, hey, I want to help sponsor. What do I need to do? What's involved with that? Maybe it's just dropping stuff off or food off. Maybe it's, they just need the financial that you can give a donation to. There's a great way. Another thing that I've been seeing that I think is really cool is agents that are the specialist of that subdivision, or really have been marketing a subdivision, are now organizing the food for the subdivision. So it doesn't cost the agent anything. So you got One More Taco, you got Mission Barbecue, and you got Castillas are all represented here, just to name a few of them, that will come into the subdivision with their trucks. And they will then provide the meal that the neighbors pay for. You, the agent, don't pay for it. So this is just you putting together some time to organize it for your subdivision. And then when the day comes for like the taco truck to be there, or Mission Barbecue, or the Castillas to be there, all you have to do is just be there and just be like, yes, I wanted to provide this to you guys. Make it one less stress for you to think about dinner tonight. They're going to remember you. The more you do that kind of thing, the more they're going to remember you. Another community event that I saw was a movie night. I thought that was pretty cool, where the agent put together the big screen and a film, and it was a family-friendly film, so you got to keep that in mind. And that particular subdivision was much smaller, and it had a big field, so social distancing was fine. So, you know, there's some things you got to coordinate there and make sure it has. But thinking outside the box like that, how awesome is that? That's another great thing to do. I've got the SPCA down here on Giving Tuesdays. The SPCA is in need of help big time because they weren't able to do the fur ball. They weren't able to do their fundraisers that they normally do. And a food drive. So maybe you do a food drive for the puppies and the kitties and all the other animals, or maybe you do a human food drive and you send out that information to all of the people that are local on your SOI and say, if you don't mind donating anything, let me know, leave it on your front porch, and I will coordinate to pick it up from your front porch. So you're never really coming in contact with anybody, but you're still helping your community. And then you can arrange to drop it off to either of those locations. So once again, it's a way of you being involved still in your community. Social media. So I want to spend a little bit of time here on social media. Social media, as we all know, is huge. We have to have a presence on social media. And by all means, please, you don't have to be on all of them because God knows I'm not. I've picked 2 that are my favorite that I stay on for the most part. But pick some and make sure that you're working it for you. Now, social media is going to be a really thin line to have to walk. What's the old saying about at Thanksgiving and Christmas table, you don't talk about politics and religion? Well, it's like that on Facebook. We don't want to upset people. And now in the midst of this pandemic, everybody's emotions are heightened anyway. So you want to be really careful of what you post and what you put out there. You want to make sure that it's not one way for the pandemic or the other way. Try to stay very neutral and just informative. Be the source of knowledge, because the minute you start going into, I'm going to stand strong that this is all a gimmick, or I'm going to stand strong that we're all going to die if we step outside our house, you're upsetting different people. And remember, your brand is connected to your social media. Even if you say, but that's my private page, it doesn't matter. You're in real estate. Welcome to real estate. You have no private page anymore. You are still connected to the real estate world. So make sure that your social media has a lot of mix and match, because you also don't want it to be look at how wonderful I am. I just sold this house. Look at how wonderful I am. I just listed this house. I'm so wonderful. I'm so great. Yay me. When there's a lot of people out there that don't even have jobs, that are really kind of at the bottom of their barrel trying to figure it out. They don't necessarily want to see all the I'm awesomeness going on. So let's put some fun activities in there. What fun activities can we throw into Facebook? How about the fact that, I don't know, you went camping over the weekend with your family. Let's throw that in. That shows that you have a sense of family. That shows that you're actually human and not a robot. Let's throw some fun activities on there that could possibly be a survey. And I don't mean a survey in the sense of, do you want to live in this $1 million house by the water or this one in the woods? I'm talking about a survey that says, hey, in downtown Fredericksburg, when we can actually eat inside a restaurant, which one of these 4 restaurants are you going to go to first? You know, something along those lines to get people interacting with your page as well as interacting with you. And that will allow you, when they give you a response, to respond back to them, to reach back out to them, whether it be privately or right there on the page. You're now engaging with them and showing value of what's going on as well with a survey. Now, the surveys are pretty cool about, you know, this house, that kitchen, this kitchen. But keep in mind, you know, you want to make it fun as well as to, you know, some other things that aren't just always real estate. Open houses. So I've always been an advocate on open houses when we were back in before COVID. I am still an advocate for open houses. And I always stem this with, they have to be done right, or it's just a waste of time. So that involves a lot of marketing, that involves a lot of prep, and it's the same thing as a virtual open house. I am not here to say that you should be running open houses in a pandemic with people coming in the house. So that's not my suggestion at all. I want to be clear. That's actually 100% opposite of what I'm saying. You can run an open house now that is done 100% virtually, and not anybody steps in the house except for you. That's an amazing thing to do. I've seen one of our local agents, and you all probably saw her do a virtual open house recently where she had different signs posted throughout her house. And if you could give her the names of the things that were on the sign, she put your name in a drawing. As she literally walked through the house, and she made it so fun. I think there was a dinosaur that showed up on the driveway. How fun is that, right? I saw another virtual open house with a different agent who is a team and had agents on different floors and went through the house, and it was like, now we're going to pass the mic kind of a thing. That was pretty fun. I've also seen some virtual open houses where if you can find the 5 locations of the hidden, whatever the object is, a young name will go in a hat for another drawing. So it's ways to engage people and still show off the house, show off the features with you as the agent, showing the value of everything of the home, and then telling people, if you would like a private showing, let me know. We can arrange for that, by appointment only. So this way we're still doing our safe measures. We're still doing our virtual open houses that can now help you gain, because anybody that's coming to you, you put them back in your database, or you're sending them back to your website. Video interviews. Video interviews are amazing. Not just the video interviews after a closing of a client saying, you're wonderful, you're amazing. Video interviews of, pick a business. Pick a coffee shop comes to mind, downtown. Pick one of the mini coffee shops we have. Contact the owner and say, I want to do a Zoom video with you. I want to interview you. How are you doing right now? How is your business doing? What can we do to help keep you safe, but we still love your coffee, that kind of thing. What measures have you put into place? What's going on? Those are all the kinds of questions. You can do a video interview and pop that on your social media. How wonderful is that? Because now that owner is going to tag, you're going to tag them. That owner is now tagged. So everybody they know and everybody that's following that location is now going to be drawn to you and be like, oh, what are you doing as a realtor? So that's another great thing. Pick a business, pick different businesses, pick different places in whatever the community is, and do some interviews. Of course, reviews are great. Reviews that are pertinent to our time are what is best, not just the generic review of, I love Deb, she's awesome. But maybe a review that says, during the time of the pandemic, we were too scared to leave our house. We are in our 80s. Deb made everything work from start to finish without ever having to leave the house, with having the notary come to the doorstep, with virtual showings. That's what people want to see right now. They want to see those kind of reviews. How did you get the job done with little to no contact? That's the reviews you want to put out there. And then hometown heroes is another thing that I am a huge advocate of right now. We've got teachers that are trying to teach virtually. We've got parents that are trying to fill in the slots also. Let's recognize our teachers. What a great job that they've been trying to do in this virtual world where they got thrown this curveball at the last minute. Medical professionals, first responders, they are all part of our hometown heroes. Let's interview them. We all know them, right? We all know someone. Put an interview out there that says, hey, this is so-and-so with, I don't know, maybe Mary Washington Healthcare is a nurse, and this is what they're doing, and just do a quick interview, which then kind of ties back into the video interview. So these are all some great ways for you to add some beef and meat onto your social media, because as you do all these things, you're going to tag different people, and those people have more friends, and make them public. Normally I'd ask, is there any questions yet? Am I going too fast? Okay, we'll keep going. So in giving, we receive. In teaching, we learn. So this is kind of the concept of, you give a man a fish for a day, he eats. You teach him to fish, he's going to fish for his life. He's going to eat for the rest of his life, right? Okay. This is where I say blogging is so important. Let's write. You need to write. Write those ways of doing different things. How to change oil in a car is a big one, because there's people that aren't wanting to leave their house. So what they're doing is they don't have a way to change the oil in their car if their car is up for an oil. Maybe they don't remember how. And yes, I know there's YouTube, and yes, I know there's Google, but why not be the source of the source also and say, this is how to change the oil in the car? Or this is how to aerate my yard, or this is how to prepare my house to sell in a couple months. Be the source of the source. Write some blogs. Write about your community. That's another great one. Let's write about the community. What's going on in the community in the pandemic? Because now that you've gone out and you've interviewed all these places, now you can write about them. Now you can sit there and say, this coffee shop is doing XYZ and this restaurant's doing this. And this way you're pulling in all of your community, and as you're doing your blogs, you're putting it back on your website. So you're connecting everything. And just remember, Google, and the way Google thinks is if you overstate the same place, it's going to kind of kick you to the bottom, but you need to make sure you state it at the top. So your key phrases need to also be in that first couple of sentences as well. Blogging is huge, and having something of value that teaches is going to last much longer than just giving them the information. Another great place to prospect right now is your landlords and your tenants. Team up with your local friendly lender and say, hey, what do you have for me that I can help send out on a marketing piece to owners that are landlords? I would like to send something to them about why I want them to sell, because right now we need the houses. We have such low inventory. It's such a great time. Here's all of my marketing strategy of what I'm going to do in a virtual world and to help them sell their home. Same thing for tenants. What's going on in the mortgage world that we can help? It's two different stories, but it's the same. It's hitting the same place, but it's double families. You're going to hit the tenant and you're going to hit the landlord. The other one is for sale by owners. For sale by owners are really good. Now, don't be that agent that calls and says, I might or might not have a buyer. I need info on the home, because that's what everyone's telling them. You want to be the agent that says, in the scary world right now, don't you really want me? You need me to be your realtor, and here's all the reasons why. Put together your for sale by owner packet. There are great classes that we have done on how to market for sale by owners and how to market landlords and tenants. Put together those packets, go back and watch those, and put together those packets so that there's something of value for all of those for sale by owners. I know of an agent that did that recently. It was on a Facebook post, just nonchalantly the person put out there, I'm trying to sell my house by myself without a realtor. And the funny thing is you wrote that on a realtor's page. That realtor's probably friends with like a whole bunch of different people that are realtors. So now you're about to get bombarded. Long story short, that realtor was able to contact the person and say, okay, here's all the reasons why you need a realtor at this time, and it's all for all these virtual reasons. And with all these virtual reasons, I'm going to be able to keep you safe, and actually convince the for sale by owner to move to a realtor and is now on the market. So, these are all great resources for you when handled properly. If you go to the for sale by owner, though, I can tell you right now, and you're like everybody else, they're going to say, yeah, go away. So don't use the same spiel of, I might or might not have a buyer. I need to see the house. You got to really show your value. Relocation is another big one. So whether your firm has a relocation department or not, there's so many agents that know so many different agents around the world. You can definitely connect with so many different agents around the world. So maybe you've got a friend that's moving to, I don't know, California, I'll say, and you don't have a clue of any agent that's out there. Well, ask. Start asking other agents in your office, and if all else fails, President Drew, knows everybody in the world, it seems like. It seems like he knows every agent out there, and if he doesn't, he knows somebody that knows where to connect them to that location. He'd be a great resource for you if your firm doesn't have a relocation department. That would be a great spot for you. By helping to move somebody out of our area and connecting them with a valued agent on the other side shows your value, and you don't know who they know, who they're going to give all that info to. It's all about, you might be able to help this one person. That one person could end up giving you 5 people, 7 people, 17 people. That's a lot of transactions and a lot of contacts for you to now add into that CRM to now be redirecting constantly back to your website to eventually incubate until they are ready to do a transaction. And finally, those that are the most adaptable will thrive. That is probably like one of the most important things right now. Just because for a fun little moment here, I don't know if you all know, camels are extremely adaptable. I think they are probably I think I read that ants are the most adaptable, and camels are the number 2 most adaptable animals on the planet. And that is because camels can go 6 months without eating or drinking anything at all. They adapt to their surroundings and their environment just like that. They have no problem changing whichever way they need to change. We as realtors really need to be that way as well. We never know what's coming at us, and especially in times like this where every day it seems like the governor's putting out a different message to us, or a do this, no, now don't do this, do that. We don't know which way we're going. So we really need to just be adaptable and embrace change. I've seen so many realtors say, I'm not going to embrace this technology, when we've moved across through different, lock boxes, different MLSs, different ways of doing business. It's they don't make it. You just have to be adaptable and you will thrive. People that adapt are the ones that will thrive the most and be the most successful. Questions? Did I go too fast? Nothing? Barb?
I'm unmuting myself.
Oh.
Sorry. No, I thought that was great. You did not go fast.
I felt like I was talking too fast, so that's why I'm wondering. Are there any questions at all?
Hi,
No?
Deb. I actually have a question. So what I've kind of run into, I'm actually a new agent. I just started in March, and I do have some, a few things in the pipeline right now, a few closings going through. But one of the things that I've noticed, and do you just, so a lot of the people that I know, I obviously don't have their email addresses. I have their home addresses, but is it kind of silly for me to just sit there and text people and say, hey, can I have your email address so I can, market myself to you in these drip campaigns?
So first of all, welcome to real estate. Welcome
you.
to real estate at probably one of the hardest times to jump into real estate.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Makes it very interesting for sure. But my advice is yes. You have 500 friends on Facebook. You're probably like, I don't have their contact info. Great. Private message them. Say, I'm updating my database. Can I get your contact information and get them in your CRM? There is absolutely nothing wrong with asking somebody to please give me your contact, as much as you can. Some people will be like, yeah, you're not getting my phone number because I don't want you to call me all the time. That's perfectly fine. Give me an email address and a mailing address. I'll eventually get your phone number. So just get kind of what you can at first. And then it will progress to you being able to get more, I promise. And whatever format you have, yes, you need to stay in communication with them. And one of the best ways right now is for you to say, how you doing?
Yeah.
How you holding up? What's going on? And if the person starts going down this, I've lost my job, I don't have food on the table, the last thing you want to do is be like, you want to sell your house? You don't really want to go that way. You want to show that you're human and that you have empathy and that you're there to help them. And you know what? I know of some programs that might be able to help you. Here are some ideas.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? I know it takes a minute to unmute, so I never want to click off too fast if people are unmuting. While people are thinking if they have a question, to the last question about you're texting somebody, how do you ask for an email? The way I used to do it is something like, oh, by the way, I have this sheet of restaurants that are doing these takeout discounts. I'd love to email it to you. What's your email? Rather than just saying, can I have your email? I like to give them a reason that I'm asking for their email, something that will benefit them.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea because I was just sitting here thinking, like, what can I come up with just to get people? I just feel like, hey, can I have your email is just a little, I don't know. Aggressive.
I agree. It seems solicitous. So if it's something like if you know they live downtown, hey, I just saw this cool list of 5 restaurants with these takeout family meals at a discount. Let me email it to you. What's your email?
Yeah, that's a really good
I'm a sucker for a food discount. That's just me. You know them better than I do.
Yeah, and if you, like Barb said, if you know them, that's a fantastic way. And especially right now where it's, hey, I know these restaurants are about to reopen for curbside,
Yeah.
Send me your email and I'll send you their links. Or if you know that they're wine drinkers, you know, hey, these wineries are opening, Barb. These wineries are opening. You
What do
know,
you think I was doing the last hour?
send me your contact information, and I'll make sure to get you the links. You know, those are all great things.
To clarify, I was researching wineries. I'm in my office. I was not drinking wine. I was researching which ones were open for Memorial Day for outdoor seating.
Hey, Barb, did you see the question I sent in the chat box?
Yes, I will check with Deb on that. Will
Okay.
you make these slides available, Deb? Are you comfortable with that, or are they proprietary? Totally.
PDF handout.
I can put it as a PDF handout. That's fine.
Perfect.
I'll
Great.
send them to Barb, and you know who was on.
Yep.
Okay.
Great class.
I'm going to leave my email. If anybody would like the PDF, email me though, because I can't see everybody's full name. So I'm going to go ahead and type my, and most of you guys have it, but let me put it in the chat.
Does anybody want to share what they're doing in the pandemic, since we have a couple of minutes?
One of the things I was able to do a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to Chip and Kevin, some of the folks that I work with at the office. Before everything ran out, toilet tissue and all that stuff, I was able to get some masks. And I went to a couple of people in my neighborhood that I know are close to selling or thinking about selling, and actually gave them my mask and gloves in a packet along with my business cards. And that not only helped remind them that I was a realtor, but it reemphasized the fact that I'm also their neighbor.
That's great. Yeah, anything we can do to show concern and compassion in a time like now, because like I said, some people are at one extreme, some are at the other, and then there's people in the middle. Just showing that empathy and that you're human and that you care for wherever they're at on it, and that you want to keep everyone safe goes a long way.
Hey, Deb. Tiffany and I usually do Popeyes quarterly, sometimes a little bit more often than that. And it just kind of fell into place that we did a kitchen measurement magnet for their refrigerator. So we were able to do a mailing Popeye, where we actually were just send it out to all of our sphere and say, we would normally stop by your house and give this to you. However, during this pandemic, we would like to still provide the information, but at a safe distance. And we also gave them, it was kitchen measurements, and on the back we gave them substitutions, because right now you can't get everything you want to cook something.
That is a fantastic idea. I was wondering how agents were doing Popeyes right now, because most agents that I've asked, they've stopped them altogether. But to do it virtually, to find something like that you can do virtually, like, great job thinking outside the box. That's awesome. And that's showing value as well as the empathy. So that's great. Thanks for sharing that. That's a great tip. We have any others that want to share? Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Sorry.
I was just going to say, kind of going back to the mailing system, sending out the Starbucks gift cards, you know, like little $5 gift cards or something out to prospects. So I'm actually about to do that. And then I've done the handwritten notes, and I've been trying to do at least 2 every single day. And one of them I actually sent to somebody and just said, hey, thanks for supporting me on my Facebook page. And they actually tagged my Facebook page on their Facebook page to, you know, with my letter to get my name out there. So that was really nice, I thought. So the handwritten letters definitely work.
They really do. They go a long way. And a lot of people, when they get them, do exactly like you said. They will put a photo of a handwritten note on Facebook and tag, or Instagram, and tag, you know, the agent on it, which is a fantastic way to get your name out there. Because the more you can interact in other people's pages, the more their friends are going to interact with you. And that's the whole goal, is collecting more people to fill that pot, because, you know, they might not be ready to do something now, or they might not be at the place where they're comfortable doing something now. But the more you keep filling their bucket, the more likely they will be to dump that bucket back on you when it's time to go.
Handwritten notes have a lot longer shelf life generally. Mailers are great, but people will throw them away with the newspaper. But people don't want to throw away a handwritten note. They leave it on their desk. They prop it up. They just feel fun. It's like throwing away an old picture of your kids that you know you don't need anymore. people really do keep it longer. So you've got a lot longer shelf life for the additional effort.
You really do. That's a great point, Barb. I recently came across a handwritten note that somebody wrote me over 10 years ago. It was just thinking of you card. It was not anything like birthday or anything that was sentimental to the kids. It was just something just as simple as that. And I still had it. So that is accurate.
So I want to say thank you real quick, because every day I think I needed to write some notes, or we didn't need to write some notes. And this is very helpful in emphasizing that I don't need to do this in my spare time. This needs to be blocked time. This is not something to fill in when I'm down. This is an activity that I need to do every day at a specific time. So this is great stuff. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Normally, I also teach a time management class, and we talk about that a whole lot in time management, as this is the time for your prospecting. So everything that I mentioned in prospecting would go on your calendar under your prospecting time. And that prospecting time is not the time of, I'm going to go shopping for my pretty little cards, or I'm going to research what I'm going to send out. That 30% of time that the successful agents are spending on prospecting is true prospecting, true picking up the phone and calling, and true FaceTime, with potential people. All that other prep time is built in elsewhere. So spending that time will become fruitful in the long run. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Anything anyone wants to share other than it's 3:00 in the afternoon and you guys are
almost
done?
a holiday weekend? Not that that means anything right now.
Right. No?
I just want to say I thought this was very helpful, and I'm really glad that I joined in today. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate hearing that. Thank you, Barb, for organizing this and reaching out to me and asking me to do it. It was fun. And if you are new and you haven't been through our success series, I encourage you to join the success series, because we do talk a lot about how to have a successful business.
We'll start another one up in September. Hopefully by then we can do it hybrid, have a few people in the classroom that would like to. The rest of you can join by Zoom. That's pretty much going to be the mode going forward for the Academy. When possible, we will well space, sanitize, have you in the classroom, one per table, and the rest can join via Zoom. So whatever y'all's comfort level is something that, we'll modify everything to make sure everybody's covered.
Excellent.
Great. Perfect. Well, thank you, everyone. It was good seeing you. It was good hearing from you. And go out, be healthy, be safe, and go happy prospecting.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Careful. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.